Tvghana so na when you go and now wasu go our hemina with him and the first time our platform so na me person my minute so be subscribe to the channel. Me patch we like a story na face share for adventure. And our comment in the comment section and mention bringing kind this is the state of the nation. And of course, Medin remains Nana Kwame Tiahine and the cracker we have me a notification bill in a story be announced on Sabidi kind account. They say ye boy be munyano. Na ibimu so bokrono ewa aban nipa bebre kasa some people are saying say scammers are buying now but ibimu say 419 but then ibimu so who say whatever that the government is doing no or yeah dear I don't know what you think meaning say oko kasa si ya ebeka say we NDP supporter wa ko jisika na wa sha say kasa but then adenenya yebeka na nati hono na na baba ye president o member no odi nsemu na se hwene nkoya ye bani abefire ni bi so what I say it shapes the government say they be a be a fair share of the national cake but then you can say ya obinyo momo IQ no from na afi no maba no mabidi watem bibri but then we are serving the nation and we are not looking at an individual, you know. You can say, Pesemin Kumina Bintin, Editia, Dabi, and Yentin. Busia, open saw the story sending a number near the screen. I said, if I send you a WhatsApp, you bet you react to your net, nothing, ya posty or channel no so. Ebusia, young conquer any swadeka cramra, mean Pesamica was in Bibri. Ye ba, ye denia Kenyana, a betual, so then a cost a good board. Then a cost Supreme Court. Kevin Tiller Jaya no Ghana for break as a Afia Schwar de Nediaba minority and so the Modiaba Samson a Ghana for Ankasano and so Edio Margin training Abba young conquer any swadi and by the Kenya better also make us a Tvghana. I'll be subscribed to the channel. We are like a story and a fish and for adventure. To comment section I'm making kind and farm. We are come right here.
Gyamfi, hey, may the 20 seconds be guawari and kwala uji womo. May the 20 seconds then you wawari apel. A bit cham I do don't feel. May warn him. I am mad and I will make you mad. Sammy Gyamfi, if anything, since you talk, Nakatane will be fear any no cry iria. Sammy, wo ben no me come so kweje. Since you cry you will be fear any more Sammy. Me who will be. Is that a threat? Yes. I will bring your political career to a dead end in less than 12 hours. Ha! John Mahaman Kraman, somebody must have made so make KWASIASEM. Say I'm looking for your house. You are looking for your mother. Okay, say me agree that $800. I be setting me up on. Say you better tip billion. You go mad for me. You do bokro no na wuni. Why you sikana ria. Me catch us say me my madam na me no. If it's Sammy, I hope him next weekend. Me Gyamfi, hey, may the 20 seconds be guawari and kwala uji womo. May the 20 seconds then you wawari apel. A bit cham I do don't feel. May warn him. I am mad and I will make you mad. Sammy Gyamfi, if anything, since you talk, Nakatane will be fear any no cry iria. Sammy, wo ben no me come so kweje. Since you cry you will be fear any more Sammy. Is that a threat? Yes. I will bring your political career to a dead end in less than 12 hours. Ha! John Mahaman Kraman, somebody must have made so make KWASIASEM. Say I'm looking for your house. You are looking for your mother. Okay, say me agree that $800. I be setting me up on. Say you better tip billion. You go mad for me. You do bokro no na wuni. Why you sikana ria. Me catch us and me my madam na me no. If it's Sammy, I hope him next weekend. Me
today, for those of you who are just joining, the Supreme Court by a 3-2 majority decided that the suspension of the learned Chief Justice, Justice Gertrude Tokonu, was not unconstitutional, that it was lawful. Before the event today, when the news came out that President Mahama has sent, it was a news item released by Felix Kwachiofosu, who is the government minister for government communications, I think he's minister without portfolio, government communications, minister of state, government communications, Felix Kwachiofosu. He released a statement that President Mahama has received petitions against the Chief Justice, and in line with Article 146 and the provisions thereof, these petitions have been shipped to the Council of State, and that the Council of State were looking at it. Now, some lawyers became concerned that a fundamental legal process is being breached, a fundamental legal maxim, a fundamental principle that underpins the law of rights is being breached. It is the principle that says that you must hear other side. All the term pattern, they say you have to hear the other side on every matter before you come to a conclusion. That is why the scales of justice tilt. They don't tilt any way. They are equal because you have to hear the other side. Is one of the principles that underpins the scale. Okay. So they went to court through, one of them was a member of parliament, Mr. Schwar, the member of parliament for Tafo, and he went to court asking lawyer Godfrey Dame to file the processes for him. Godfrey Dame being the former attorney general, of course. So he filed these processes, and the court panel was constituted to hear the matter. Many legal observers were watching whether Justice Tokonu will empanel herself, because she has the right to do so. She has the technical power to do so. And this matter was about her. It was about her impeachment. So that if she empaneled herself, she has one vote her way. And there's no law against it, as it were. There's no technical law against it, as it were. So the panel came out as follows. Justice A.J. Frimpong, Justice Darko Asare, Supreme Court Justice Yao Jewu, Supreme Court Justice Henrietta Mensah-Bonsu, Professor of Law, and Supreme Court Justice Adibu Asiedu. These were the 5 lady and gentlemen who were empaneled by Justice Tokonu to hear the matter about whether or not the president in transmitting the petition to the Council of State has jumped one step. And the step he had jumped was indicating a kind of breach in bad faith, because it was important that Justice Tokonu got it. Now you will see in a letter that President Akufo-Addo wrote to the Council of State that a petition had come to him and he had forwarded it to the subject of the petition, which is what one always needs to do. So Justice Tokonu empaneled these judges to look at the application that had come before the court, which was directly impacting her continued role as Chief Justice. Sometime along the story, Justice Tokonu then wrote a letter to President Mahama indicating the same thing, that she is yet to receive the petition, but she understands that these petitions have been forwarded to the Council of State. In response to the letter, President Mahama berated Justice Tokonu for leaking her petition to him, to the media, because President Mahama said he had also seen it in the media. He, however, responded to Justice Tokonu by forwarding the petitions to her and giving her 10 days to respond to the petition. It would appear at this stage that perhaps the matter before the court was moot, because at that time, the real matter before the court was what they called a violation of the Constitution by a breach of the rule of auditorum pattern, which is here the other side, as it is said in Latin. However, after Justice Tokonu responded to the petition, word came round that the Council of State was being asked to consider whether or not a prima facie case has been established in the matter. If the Council of State were to consider that the prima facie case has actually been established, the process in Article 146 sort of kicks in. In the process kicking in, His Excellency the President is told in Article 146 that he may or may not suspend the Chief Justice. May suspend the Chief Justice. It then comes to the discretion of His Excellency the President that in carrying out this discretion, he will be able to suspend the Chief Justice if he so desires. But he will be able to keep the Chief Justice in office whilst the processes of Article 146 continue. What is the next stage? The next stage is that a committee be set up to look into the matter. The membership of the committee is also determined by the provisions of the Constitution. So the Council of State proceeded to look at the matter. One day we were there when the Council of State said that they have looked at the matter and they have established a prima facie decision. Lawyers were unhappy with the matter. And then they said that the president, not being a judicial officer, when he sees the word may, where he wants to exercise his discretion in a matter that is quasi-judicial, as this matter is, quasi-judicial just means that it has a semblance of a judicial matter, but it is not properly judicial because the president is not a judge of the Supreme Court. He's performing a role as of a judge, but it's quasi-judicial. So quasi-judicial, for instance, is that you work at Metro TV, and then they say you have done something wrong, that you have violated the code of ethics of the company. So they set up a committee, usually chaired by Paul Adomochiri, and the secretary is somebody else, and everybody is there. Then that exercise of that disciplinary action against the Metro TV staff is what we call quasi-judicial, because you are going to take a rule of conduct and you are going to interpret whether those rules of conduct have been breached. In doing so, you are sort of performing a judicial function as a judge of sorts, but you are not a judge, and you are not a high court judge. You're not a court of appeal judge. So what you are doing, which the law allows you to do, is a quasi-judicial function. It was said that because the president is exercising a quasi-judicial function, he, the president, ought to publish regulations on how this function is exercised, because it's a discretion and it's a constitutional matter. People say that in the best interest of the practice, we need to know ahead of time with sufficient predictability that when you get into this space, the president will exercise his discretion to do A or B. It should not be in the dark, and it should not be open-ended, where we don't know where, how, on what basis, and with what intuition that the president will come to this conclusion. But if regulations are published, we will know that if your matter is this way, that way, this way, then the